Good afternoon, everybody. It's 5:02 p.m., March 31, 2024. It is Easter Sunday. And yes, somebody else mentioned that it's very bizarre that Easter is in the month of March when it's always in the month of April. But I wanted to read some comments that people have left. Some of them appeared underneath the video and some of them didn't. Sometimes I have to approve them and some of them actually just disappeared. But before I do, please hit the thumbs up. Helps the channel grow. Because this video about the local neighbor doing the zoomies, like my cat doing the zoomies down the county road, got downvoted to, drumroll, 33%. And then it got back up to 65%. And I don't know where it is right now, but please hit the thumbs up on those two videos. So I'm going to read some of those comments, but before I do, I'm going to tell you what was stolen from my house. So now this tells you how important this information is to these local criminals, because they're all involved in astrology, they're all involved in numerology, they all know that I have been studying this stuff since I am a child. Not a teenager, not an adult, but since I am a child, okay? It was just something I was drawn to. I was drawn to numerology as a child, and then to astrology, and I used to hide it and stuff, and then I actually became a professional astrologer and numerology teacher. I actually taught it. I actually lectured on it. I had classes. I had clients all over the world. And that is how I became involved with certain celebrities over the years in the past. Okay, so now please, for all the Christians out there, you have to understand, I grew up in a Roman Catholic family. I consider myself to be a spiritual person. I do not practice a religion. Okay, I don't practice religion. I actually only had a Bible as an adult, and it was never in my house. That's just the way we were raised. We were raised in a family with two religions. Okay, we had two religion family. My mother was of one religious faith, my father of the other. My mother converted to Catholicism. You know, the rest is history. Non-practicing, etc., etc. But I did go to Sunday school. I did make communion and confirmation, and literally after that, I washed my hands of it. I always had very bad feelings about priests. They gave me the creepy jeepies, and then when I was older and dated a guy who was an altar boy, I heard story after story about the molestations, about the thefts from the candles, you know, when you go and light a candle and you donate money and stuff, and how they were stealing that money and paying off the altar boys for sexual favors and stuff. That, I'm so glad I'm a reformed, totally reformed Roman Catholic. Do not practice. I cannot stand religion. Okay, enough of that, because I don't want to insult anybody who's religious. Whatever you believe is what you believe, as long as you don't try to dump it on me. Okay, so anyway, so my 2024 astro calendar was stolen. It's the planetary alignments book, spiral notebook, was stolen from my living room. I'm reading into this microphone. It was to my right. It's gone. They stole it. I also marked personal things in there, and I just want to say that it is a calendar. It has the planetary alignments, the planetary aspects. That's what it's called. The aspects is when one planet aligns with another in a geometric pattern, and that geometric pattern shares energy, and that energy is emanated out into the universe, and it affects people, places, things, particularly the events surrounding the eclipses. And I just want to also say that the last eclipse in 2017, I remember watching it from my phone. Okay, what I did, and you could do this too, so you don't want to look at it while it's in the process of eclipsing. After it is totally eclipsed, you can look up at it. It is going to be gorgeous, and you can look up at it, no problems, okay? But while it is eclipsing, you don't want to look up at it. So I was in my backyard with my phone, watching it, and I'm watching my phone, and my perp neighbor, Steve, is hanging out on his deck, watching me and mimicking me watching the eclipse. So that was what was going on in the last eclipse 2017, the mimicry of the perp, Steve, the one who fell off his chair when I said hello to him one morning in my nightgown because he's staring at his phone. I figured, you know what, I'm just going to sneak up. I know he's watching me on his phone. I come out the back door. I'm in my nightgown. I go up to the fence, and he's there on his chair. And he's probably watching me or watching something else. So I screamed over the, I yelled over the fence, "Good morning, Steve." And he literally fell off the chair onto the floor. I thought it was hilarious. Okay, so anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. So the last solar eclipse was in 2017. That's what was going on in my life in 2017. I knew that I was being stalked. I knew I was being harassed. And the perpetrators, Steve and Vicky, I call them Vicky Dicky. Vicky Dicky and Steve were living next door to me for only a year. Exactly a year to the date. And then the new perpetrators moved in. And they moved directly across the street. But anyway, my 2024... astrological planetary guide calendar was stolen from my house. So somebody walked in and stole it. Let's see. One second. Oh, yes. I wanted to read something about tampering with evidence. Okay? Tampering with evidence. And the reason I wanted to discuss tampering with evidence is because right here in Jackson County, Kentucky, I've had 3 gates to my property across the street. When I moved here, there was an older gate that was erected, and it was hanging on the frame, you know, the swivel frame of 2 wooden posts. Okay, 2 wooden posts with the hardware there to attach a gate. The gate was there. At the time, I didn't have my property surveyed yet. I assumed it was mine, and it actually was my gate, okay? Until my neighbor, who's been trying to steal the property from me, must have had some security, some cameras out there. And he mentioned to me, he said, "Oh, well, that's my property." I kid you not. My gate, my property. Because I was looking up there. I just moved here. This is the same neighbor that walked me down the end of the road and told me my property began all the way down there when it didn't. So they've been trying to steal my land for 5 years. So, anyway, that gate was mine. It was on my property. It belonged to the former neighbor. They were trying to conceal the fact that it belonged to me. And I would continue to close the gate. Because the gate was closed when I moved here. And then somebody would continue to open it and park across the street, brighting me at night. So I would go there and close the gate. And the gate would continue to be open. And then I found the gate was literally lifted off the gate posts and pummeled into the ground. And it allowed weeds to grow over it. And they crushed the gate. I hired a local neighbor named Chris. I hired and paid a local neighbor to get the gate out of the ground because, one, it's really heavy. He was a bigger guy. He could do it. He had the equipment and stuff. I paid him, and he was going to hold it for me until we got the new gate, and then we're going to swap them out and everything. I never got that gate back. I asked him for it. He finally said the law The lawyer told him I couldn't have it back. I couldn't have my gate back. I wanted it back before my court date because it was evidence that my gate has continued to be stolen, damaged, vandalized. But guess what? The county lawyer goes around threatening people or having other people, he's got to use his little tools, his people, to implicate them instead of him. Threaten them to not return my property on my property unless I file a civil suit. I can't have my gate back that you dug out of the ground on my property that I paid you for, and you won't return it because some county loser tells you, threatens you. So getting back to what this is, Kentucky, section 524.050, tampering with a witness. This would go for tampering with evidence, okay? Tampering with a witness. A person is guilty of tampering with a witness when knowing that a person is or may be called as a witness in an official proceeding. He, I'm going to say, or she, induces or attempts to induce the witness to be absent themselves or otherwise avoid appearing or testifying in the official proceeding with intent to influence the outcome thereby, or knowingly makes any false statement or practices any fraud or deceit with intent to affect the testimony of the witness. Tampering with a witness is a Class D felony. A Class D felony. Why am I saying this? The night before my court date with my neighbor who trespassed my property, threatens me, the big mouth, the one who's trespassing, posting no trespassing signs on my property, blah, 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 threatening workers on my property, threatening them if they continue to work on my property, clean my property, they will be part of her lawsuit. Okay, I don't know, guys. When did it become a problem for you to clean your property? Why is that a problem? Anyway, the point is that the night before my court date, my witness, the guy who was working on my property with his 15-year-old son, the one who was threatened with a loaded weapon while that neighbor with the ski mask, the black ski mask, tore down my gate with a John Deere tractor, threatening my witness, receives in his mailbox a handwritten note threatening him. And the words on that handwritten note were verbatim a sentence on the heading of the county lawyer's complaint form. One that I filed and one that my witness filed. So evidently, his address, his name was shared with whomever posted, walked, drove a half an hour away and stuck this handwritten note. Who does that? I mean, come on. This is crime 101. Listen, if you're going to threaten a witness, go type it out. You can't go using your own handwriting on a note that's exactly the same handwriting on your no trespassing signs posted on my property, and the same handwriting that my process server photographed on your door. Same handwriting. Guys, I mean, it doesn't get dumber than that. Besides the fact that I have studied handwriting analysis, but we won't go there. It's a story for another day. So, Yes. So, tampering with a witness. Somebody whose handwriting was on that threatening letter drove to my witness's home a half an hour away. Where do they get his address from and his name? And deposited that threatening note in his mailbox. It's called a Class D felony. And I would venture to say, because I haven't researched, is that tampering with evidence is just as felonious. But if anybody has that research, please let me know. I haven't researched it. Tampering with a witness and tampering with evidence. Okay? So my 2024 astrological planetary guide was stolen from my house. A value of $14. Tampering with a witness is a Class D felony. Now, these are some of the wonderful comments that I received on, let's see. So now one person says, they're always plotting and scheming. The National Sheriff's Association had a conference in D.C. back in February for some national security BS. She said it's horrible what the American government has done to America. It's not the Muslims. It's not the radical jihadists. It's not the Chinese. She says it's America that's destroying this country. Okay? Just for the record, they're not my words. YouTube, I'm reading the comments from other people, and it's for educational purposes. People need to know what other people think, and I'm merely sharing the thoughts and ideas of others. Now, one person says about the county road here, about the he says, lady, you have no idea. Targeted? Try being followed perpetually by 3 separate state patrols for months, simply for pleading not guilty to a civil violation for speeding. Well, that's insanity. That's totally ridiculous. That's right. Speeding is not a crime. Dozens of criminal acts by the badge wearers and court officers. I can provide all kinds of evidence of the crimes, and it's refused by the judge. Start talking about the need for occupational exposure limits of nitrocellulose. I don't know what that is. I'd have to look. I don't know what it is. You will find out. By the way, do you need to post no trespassing signs in Kentucky? I didn't see any notices posted. Well, yes, you do. And I do have no trespassing notices posted. In fact, I have a no trespassing notice on my gate. And there are 4 bullet holes through it. Yes. And we found the bullets. And the sheriff would not trace the bullets to whomever owns the weapon. Okay? So yeah, we found the bullets. Just like we found the John Deere tractor. That was confirmed that belongs to my neighbor, but nobody arrested them. That's why Neighborhood Wars on A&E, April 11, 2023, aired my story. If the judge won't do anything, if the county lawyer is involved in the corruption, the sheriff is involved in the corruption, if everybody's involved in the corruption, we go to citizen journalists, okay? No, you're not going to violate my rights because you're greedy and pathetic, okay? So, I responded to this person, I'm sorry to hear what happened to you. Yes, I have no trespassing signs all over the place. Neighbor shot bullet holes through one of them. Kentucky says to post them. Also, if you want to read your testimony on my channel, email it to me. So, if this guy wants to email me his testimony, I'm happy to read it on the channel. Another person writes, yes, the technology exists. These are modern-day weapons in warfare. We really don't need conventional military personnel or logistics in this day and age. Well, that's unfortunately true, too. Now, somebody else wrote, signature reduction agents are a sign of the industry, and it's huge. I don't know what that is, okay? I didn't know what it was. I don't know what that is. I'm just like, signature, like your internet signature, reduction agent. So, and I wrote, I don't know what it is. We'll have to look that up. I don't know what it is. So, now somebody else writes, everybody appears to be targeted. You're either used or abused. It's some sadistic machine program. Another person writes, it's a heavy secret because the government is committing human trafficking and profiting off innocent people. Also, the FEDS can recoup those funds by asset stripping targeted individuals, which makes it a win-win for them to keep the money flowing. And that's what they do. They asset strip us. Now somebody else writes, we are dealing with a global rogue hidden network of operations. So now this is a good one. This is why I wrote county and neighborhood organized crime. Oh, before I read the comment, when I moved to Kentucky, I had a lot of work done here. And this sort of came out of nowhere. I guess I was talking to one of the workers. I said, you know, it's been really rough getting settled in here. It's just taking so long. Out of nowhere, the guy starts telling me a story about something that happened to him. I won't reveal any details. But after the story, I just felt so bad. I'm thinking, like, what I'm describing to him is nothing compared to what he just described to me. And then he turned to me, flat out of nowhere. He said, you know, there is a new form of organized crime. I kid you not. He said, there's a new form of organized crime. And then I was like, oh, yeah. They use their cell phones. And he didn't say anything else. It was like he was warning me. He was warning me. He was a good person. Anyway, another subscriber writes, hi, Lorraine. I agree. Your harassment is directly related to your county and its involvement in criminal industry, and the level of complicity goes deep into the core of the community and the families that rely upon it. I'm going to repeat that. Your harassment is directly related to your county and its involvement in criminal activity, the criminal industry, and the level of complicity goes deep into the core of the community and the families that rely upon it. At least from a business point of view, the local criminal mindset, they view you as, quote, not good for business, unquote, and taking a profit loss on the books, and depreciate their reputations. Because criminals are very paranoid. And the word will get around that your neighbors are colluding with me. This is how criminal they think. No, I have no interest in colluding with my neighbors. I do not like my neighbors. I have nothing in common with my neighbors. My neighbors, and I don't know all of them. I can only count on one hand the ones that I actually have met in person. And a minimum of 2 of those families are criminal and complicit. And they go run into the town, to the county lawyer to rat snitch. Run, like little rats that they are. Scatter, the little cockroaches. Run. Oh, I took a picture of her. Oh, here's a picture. Can I have some money? Oh, yes, we approached that guy that was working on her property and we bribed him to not work there anymore. Yeah, we paid that one off and we told him to damage her gate. Yeah, we went behind her back and did this and that. That's why people that drive by I've never met have angry expressions on their face when looking at me. And that's why I created the Facebook page for this county, for this town. Because I want everybody to know who I am. And that I have nothing to do with these people. So they're going to have to do a lot more damage control about their little reputations, because I haven't seen anything good online about their reputations. I haven't seen anything good. Okay? They can't even get the name spelling right on the county website. Okay? They could say anything they want about me. Anything. Prove it. You hear me, guys? The ones that are recording now? Prove it. Prove it. Without your fake evidence, prove it. I'm exactly who I say I am. And you could falsify all the evidence you want. But I can also prove that my neighbor was in the county jail for driving under the influence, likely because she was photographing my property and fell in the ditch. Oh. I had nothing to do with my neighbors. So when this is posted, anybody who thinks remotely that I'm colluding with my criminal neighbors and their criminal cartel, their organized crime, with the Three Masons, with any neighbors around here, I have zero to do with them. In fact, 2 of those neighbors received legal cease and desist letters. Legal cease and desist letters that were copied to the sheriff, the former sheriff, the current sheriff, and the county lawyer. And he could say he didn't receive it all he wanted. He could say he didn't receive it. That's a damn lie. And I'm going to say it on the record that I filed a complaint with the Attorney General Criminal Division against the county lawyer, naming my neighbors, and how the county lawyer is controlling what the sheriff's department does and doesn't do. Wrong. It's damn wrong. And then he also trespassed my property without my permission. But that's another story. So yeah, county lawyer, you can spread all the rumors you want. You could pay off all the people that work on my property. You can pay off my neighbors for finding out information on me. Like, let me just tell you, when I was in court, I provided that judge with so much evidence, tabbed articles, videos, photos, signed witness statement, copy of the bullet holes, copy of the threat letter made to my witness. Do you know what the judge has the audacity to say? After looking through everything, and I included my educational background. You know what he had the audacity to say, this asshole? You didn't include the places you worked. I kid you not. I'm there looking for a restraining order against my neighbors. And they're looking for information on me. Well, you stupid assholes. I've had several of my own businesses where I've worked for myself. That's right. And you don't need to know what my history is to file a lawsuit, a complaint against trespassing neighbors. I didn't see their resume presented to your court. I didn't see their history presented to the court. I didn't see their evidence presented to the court. I didn't see their property lines and surveys presented to the court. They provided zero evidence. Zero. The judge refused to give me a restraining order, an order of protection. They're all in on it. They're all in on it. So, he goes on to say, I'm going to say it again. I agree. Your harassment is directly related to your county and its involvement in the criminal industry. And the level of complicity goes deep into the core of the community and the families that rely on it. At least from a business point of view and local criminal mindset, they view you as not good for business. Well, I'm not good for your business. I want nothing to do with what you do. And taking a profit loss on the books and depreciated their reputation because criminals are so paranoid. And the word will get around that your neighbors are colluding with me. This is how criminals think. And he puts the little dark sunglasses on. I'm saying that last right's burnout was the result of your neighbor getting pressured from the local crims. They're putting the screws on him. Okay, so what he's saying here is that the neighbor that did the skid marks down the county road, I mean, it was obviously already set up. Somebody set him up to do it, told him to do it, and he did it. Okay? What this subscriber is saying that burnout on the county road was the result of my neighbor, that guy, being pressured from the local criminals. They're putting the screws on him. Well, I'm going to post this online, and I'm going to shout out. I don't know who you are. I know what road you live on. I'm going to give you a shout out. I will interview you live. I will interview you live, and you can provide your testimony live to me. I will ask you why you did that. I will ask you who put you up to that. I would like to know why you did it. Have I ever met you? Were you paid to do that? Were you threatened to do it? If you were threatened or bribed or coerced, well, that is a crime. And I will allow you to offer your testimony live. You can contact me on this channel, and I will give you a voice. If you're truly being victimized by these local criminals, I would like to hear about it. But you are not going to victimize me. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Because obviously my mouth is a lot bigger than your car. Anyway, I'm going to give a shout out to, and I don't know, I mean, I'm sure some of you guys are too young, some of you guys are my age, some of you guys are older, but I grew up listening to Eric Clapton. I thought he was like this great guitar player. I saw him in concert twice. Just phenomenal. The last time I saw him, he was with Steve Winwood at New York City. I went with my brother. Madison Square Garden. I think it was the Garden. But anyway, the reason I'm mentioning his name is because he experienced some health issues, okay? He experienced some health issues after 2 of those arm candy things. And you know what I'm talking about. He was kind of coerced by his family into getting this candy stuff. And unfortunately, after the first time, he experienced a lot of neuropathy in his hands. Could you imagine how that is to a guitar player like Clapton? After the second piece of candy, it worsened. It was horrible. I saw a 3-minute video on BitChute. Of course, you're not going to see this anywhere else. 3-minute video where he is speaking out. And he even said, he says, I probably shouldn't be doing this video. But he's speaking out about how it almost destroyed his life and how he's recovering from the neurological damage that he incurred. So what I'd like for you to do is go to his YouTube channel and just hit the thumbs up. He's re-recording some of his old music. He's posting some of his some new stuff, I guess, some new things, new music and stuff. But I really like Mr. Clapton. And how do I say this? A few months ago, I mentioned that I attempted to email somebody that I knew, that I hadn't spoken to in a long time. And after I emailed that person, I received a response back. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly. And I was so scared at the time, literally, that I deleted it. I thought it was spam. So I deleted it as quickly as possible. So anyway, I sent a message to this person, said, haven't heard from you, haven't spoken to you in a long time. I moved to Kentucky. I hope everything is well. I saw your recent videos. I heard what had happened to you. And the response I received back was allegedly from my favorite Bureau of Investigation. That's right, blocking my email to this person. That's all I'm going to say. My favorite Bureau of Investigation blocked my email to this person. And it wasn't through Google. It was through an old account of mine. An old account. Maybe it's still the same account of his. I'm just going to leave it at that. There you have it, folks. That's my testimony for today. So I look forward to your questions and comments on this Easter Sunday. It's been so quiet since I'm recording this. I guarantee, some of them are eating, they're discussing, what's going to happen to that girl down the block. That old lady down the block. What are we going to do to her next? So I'm just going to repeat that, yes, this entire county is involved. This community is involved in organized crime. Organized crime. It is a land grab. They want to steal my land. They've been trying since the day I got here. But anyway, I wanted to say also, there was somebody that said that their comments disappeared. I never saw you for that person. I never saw your comments. They're not in on my side, like in where I have to review it. And let's see if I have anything else to read to you here. Nothing else held for review. So I apologize if your comments got deleted. It wasn't from me. I did not delete your comment. Okay? The only comments that I did delete, I removed 2. And let me see, I'll see if I can find them real quickly before I sign off here. This is getting to be too long here. This is somebody that left a comment on the County Road Perp Neighbor Bully. The YouTube is a bird dog. Bird dog. He writes, or he or she, I don't know, it could be a girl, I don't know. At the 500 plus HP cars being sold these days, they're going to play with it somehow. When all else fails, put a tag on it. It's not bullying. That's just stupid. I guess it'll be racist too. Get over it. Stop playing the victim. Don't judge others because they sin differently than you. Well, bird dog, I'm not a racist. I'm not even going to go into the reasons why I'm not a racist, but I'm not. I'm not a racist. I'm not a bigot. I generally like all people until they mess with me. And when you start messing with me, then I'm really not a nice person anymore. So let's see. What else? What else? Other stupid comment that I received from a perpetrator. Could be a local neighbor. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? County Road here. Oh, here. This is from somebody that called Snickers Fine. He just writes, "Get over it, lady." And when you go to his channel, there's no videos. It's the only comments he's made. So, "Get over it, lady. Snickers Fine." So one of my subscribers says, "Lorraine, don't delete those comments because, you know, some of my loyal subscribers want to gang up on them and read them the riot act." So I will keep those comments for a while. I generally just delete them. I consider them to be spam, so I just want to get rid of them. But anyway, I'm going to sign off for now. Hit the thumbs up. Happy Easter. Talk to you soon.